Hello, hello, and welcome. Today is Thursday. We're going to talk about the struggles with finances and shifting from lack to financial prosperity and prosperous flow, which takes some work. I asked a question in my Burning Gold group, and you guys answered. Thank you. I'm grateful for you. Um, and and I was having a conversation early this morning with one of my friends who is a spiritual practitioner as well, and we were talking about not giving everything away for free, right? Which is a one of those problems that happens within the spiritual communities. As practitioners and healers, a lot of people expect us to give things away really cut rate or free. And being empathic, we always want to jump in and help everybody. But when you start to help and it's to your own detriment, that's not good. There has to be an equal energy exchange. So I thought this is a good topic for today. Hi, Darlene. Hi, Carmen. Hi, Janine. Hi, Lisa. We've missed having you on the lives. Hi, Bob. So I apologize for it taking me so long to get on here, but I was actually doing a recorded interview with someone I helped back in 2016, and she's just had some amazing breakthroughs since going through a very, very dark night of the soul when she came into my life and I came into her life. And I wanted her to share her story with all of you of what's possible, because I mean, it went from catastrophic to amazing, and I want you guys to hear about her story. So I'm going to edit that video, and then I'll post it in a little bit. You're coming back to Charmed, Bob? Or are you just coming back to live streams? What's it going to be? We actually posted a replay from last year, the year before, with a coaching session that you were in, and I so miss you in our coaching sessions. So miss you. Hi, Chantel. Yep, you're coming back to Charmed. Oh, so exciting. Cool. Well, we'll chat. I'm so excited. Yay! See, more good news. Today just keeps getting better and better. All right. So I want to pull up the post because I want to, for people who aren't in Charm or aren't in Burning Gold, I kind of want to just go over some of the comments because I did ask the question, how many of you guys are struggling with finances? What is that struggle like for you? And I want to share some of the answers. I'm not going to identify any of you, so don't worry about that, but I'll share some of what was shared. So someone said, biggest struggle operating within old beliefs on how money and financial prosperity can flow to me. The belief I need to physically do something to receive money. The harder I work, the more money I earn. In other words, I'm working on receiving from different sources. It's reprogramming the belief. And this is coming from a Charm Life student, that comment. Then we've got someone else who says, trying to not to focus on the how. It's really difficult. Then someone else said this and worthiness, but the more I release, the abundance does flow to me from unexpected sources. Someone else is saying it's kind of hard. I'm a college student with a child. Learn not to stress about money. I know I'm on the right direction on my path, but some weeks are hard. And then someone else was talking about car repairs. And why do I continue to struggle with this? How do I clear it? So we'll talk about that too. Someone else saying more money's coming in than out. They had some emergency expenses with air conditioning. Someone else saying, I'd like to manifest larger amounts of money and be more consistent. More car repairs, house repairs, animal that was sick. And then not doing personal things for themselves. And then someone else saying, I've come a long way in my experience on this subject. The more I love myself and I'm aware of my self-worth, the easier it is. I went from lack to always paying bills with ease and even unexpected ones, but there's resistance in manifesting more. And then someone had commented yesterday about feeling like they were being selfish for wanting to manifest more. So I want to cover cover that as much as I can on a live stream with that. And kind of help you guys start to get your mind wrapped around thinking about money in a different way. Because the only way for us to manifest money, as in anything else, we have to get our beliefs and our mindset straight. And our energy vibration has to be higher than where it is right now in that place of struggle. So let me explain. How many of you, and I want to see your comments and I want to get your guys' sort of reactions. Hey, Bernadette, I want to manifest a big win. Okay, well, anything's possible. And I'm not limited to any way that money comes, but I do want to talk with you guys about being practical and being in a place of giving in order to receive. And that's the biggest lesson I'm going to teach you guys today. So if that's not something you want to hear, don't waste your time on this live stream because there is no more of a magic bullet than to give of your energy if you want to receive something. That is the magical answer. But it takes a little bit more than just simply giving. You have to be in the right energetic, emotional place, vibration, to have your giving actually result in your receiving. So again, if any of you have an issue with that, jump off of the live stream now. I'm just teaching you what I know and how it's worked for me repeatedly through my life. And I've manifested big amounts of money, you know, $25,000 cash. I manifested $35,000 cash just a couple years ago when I wanted to move here. I have no problem manifesting a couple $1,000s when I want to. Manifesting huge savings on things, manifesting things for free, manifesting car parts and whatnot at huge discounts, and repairs done for me even that way at a huge discount or free. There's many ways to think about finances, and we have to get beyond what we think we know about money. Would you agree with that? Do you guys actually agree with that? Because if your current thoughts and beliefs about money were actually working for you, you would not be here on this live stream to begin with. If you had all the money in the world flowing to you, you wouldn't have commented and you wouldn't have shown up so quickly, ready to indulge in these teachings. So hopefully you guys, that's where you're at. You're ready to learn. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Ashley. All right. So I want you to think in terms right now of love and relationships. And I'll explain that in just a minute, why I'm taking you down that path first, because sometimes it's easier for us to relate to love and relationships. And it doesn't matter what kind of relationship, but romantic partnership is one that people struggle with a lot, like money. There is a saying that I teach in my classes that goes like this: money flies out the window when love walks out the door. And the same is true when things fall apart with love, money seems to dissipate quickly. Do you guys understand that? And any of you have any questions about that? Do you understand that concept? Because it is true. Money will fly out the window when love is not the vibration that you are feeling or operating in. All right. And a lot of times when your love life goes off, your relationships go into conflict, you will begin to notice that you have a leakage with your money. Emergencies start to come up, unexpected expenses start to come up, right? That stuff starts to happen. And now not only are you feeling a loss of love, you're feeling a lack in your financial support and what you have. So I want you to think about that. When love relationships end, how do you normally feel? Yes, you absolutely always need to love yourself, but let's stay on track. How do you feel when love walks out the door? How do you feel when a relationship ends and you weren't prepared to have it end? Think about that. And I want you guys to type into the comments, like, how do you feel when that happens? What happens to your energy? Are you happy or are you sad? Are you hopeful or are you disappointed? Are you in a place of acceptance, or are you in a place of resistance when a relationship ends and you're not ready for it to end? What's your energy like, and where does it go? Or are you able to hold it in a place of, I'm happy, I'm appreciative, everything's perfect, it's all working out? And be honest. I want you guys to tell me, because it will tell me where I need to go with this, with money, with you guys, to help teach you. So when a relationship ends, Mary Ellen, you feel hopeful, shock, and then sad. Okay, that's more of what people feel, right? Disappointed. Yep, absolutely. And then what do we do when a relationship ends, right? What do? We put on our sweats and we listen to sad music. We drink a bottle of wine and we turn on things like Karen Carpenter. Probably not nowadays. Who would it be now? Adele? Taylor Swift? Back in the day when I was a kid, whenever my mom was upset, we knew Karen Carpenter came on, and it was like, oh shit, here we go. And you just knew to hide, right? Disappointed. Yeah. Oh, hopeful it won't hurt. Gotcha. Okay. So, and you have to think about, I just want you to think about, like, you don't want to leave your house. You go into your head and overanalyze. Yep. You don't want to leave your house. You kind of want to just feel bad, right? And it's like you want to talk about it with your friends over and over and over again. If they hurt you, yeah, blame game. The energy goes down that road too, right? You love being alone. That's awesome. Overanalyzing. And overanalyzing means we're in our heads. We're no longer in our hearts. So that saying, right? Love walks out the door. It isn't just the person walking out the door. Your love is on the downslide. Like, your love is out the door. You're not in the love vibration. Okay. The reason I'm wanting you guys to think about this is because love and money are the same vibration. They're the same energy. They're the energy of abundance. Okay. A lot of people think about that and they're like, money's just a dollar bill. Money is a symbol for energy. It's a medium of exchange of energy, right? And it holds a higher vibration. A lot of people can't understand that those energies are very, very tied together. Like, everyone wants to separate them. They'll say things like, I'm great at relationships, I just suck at money. No, you're either going to be good at one and good at both, or you're going to suck at one and you're going to suck at the other eventually. Some people, and mind you, some people, all they care about is money. They don't care about relationships. And in that regard, and yet they love themselves and they serve themselves and only themselves. So in that regard, when that's not their focus, they can hold together the vibration of money, but it is to the exclusion of other things. However, when we're in relationship and we're cruising along and we think everything's great, and then the carpet is ripped out from underneath us and our energy drops because we tied love to the person. We tied and attached the meaning of love to a person. So when the person leaves, all of that love within us actually leaves too. That energy leaves too, and our energy drops. And then we do stupid things like isolate, overanalyze, beat ourselves up, feel guilty, blame the other person, get hateful, get big armor around us. I'm never going to get hurt again. I'm never going to give again. Blah. We do all these crazy things when that happens. But if you really, really, really think about it, the same thing happens with money. With gaining a job, we get all excited. We put all this hope into it. New opportunity. I'm getting paid this much money. Oh my God, I can see everything's going to be okay again. Lose a job. Where do you go? The same damn place you do when a relationship ends and you didn't want it to. You go into the hopelessness, you go into the fear, you go into the anger, you go into the disappointment, you go into worry. You start to try and figure out, how am I going to pay all my bills? And oh my God, you go into analysis mode. And then your finances drop out. And you're not in that place of knowing if this thing left, this job, this opportunity left, it's making room for something new. You're not thinking that. If you are, you wouldn't be on this live stream, because if you were thinking that, your money would constantly grow and expand, and you would always be a magnet for it and to it. You would have a good relationship. That's the difference between, say, my belief system with money and your belief system with money. When big expenses come my way, I don't freak out about them. I know that no matter what, that money or the opportunity to make that money is going to show up in the most miraculous way. In fact, when those things happen, I always tell the universe, this is exciting. This is super exciting. Like, how are you going to make this possible to come up with this money? I can't wait. Like, I'm excited. And so I'm in that place of excitement, hopefulness, anticipation that something miraculous and good is going to come. And because I'm in that place, it always does. Does it come like that? No, sometimes it takes a couple of days. Every time at tax season, right? For years, because I usually owe money on my taxes, for years I would wait. I would wait to pay my taxes until April 15th, and I would find out about April 12th what I owed. And I didn't ever know how much it was going to be. And several $1,000s as a self-employed person is what it cost me. And you know, every year, right on the 15th, the money would show up in the most unexpected ways. Literally one year, I think I owed $4,700, $5,700. And on April 15th, I still didn't have the money. I actually owed more than that, but I was lacking that $4,700. And out of the blue, and this is like 15 years of not getting child support on my oldest daughter, suddenly I got this tax refund in the mail from child support. It was a child support payment, but I hadn't received child support on my daughter in 15 years. Like, seriously, was the last thing I would have ever expected, and came right on the day I needed it. It's stuff like that that ends up happening, right? Would that have happened if I was in a place of, it's always going to fall apart, oh my God, I can't do this anymore? Maybe it wouldn't have. I don't know. But because I'm always in that state of expectation and knowing the universe always has my back, and that no matter how big or how small, my needs are always met, and I will always be guided to the place that will bring me the solution to have the money that I need, or the resources that I need. Because of that, I'm in a different place where I actually make friends. I'm not saying that I was never in the place of lack, because I was. In my 20s, I bounced my checkbook all the freaking time. I was constantly living from paycheck to paycheck, and, you know, counting change to make it through the end of the week with food as a single mom, food and gas in my car. Emergencies with my car would happen. The stupid things with daycare, just one thing after another, right? And it was a perpetual cycle where I was always short. I was always short. That was during the time when Spirit really started to work with me on manifesting and taking control of my life and taking control of my finances. And I stayed in the same job during this whole transitional period. Like, I was getting paid the same amount of money while I went through these changes. But what Spirit had me do was look at paying my bills differently. Instead of being fearful about paying them, instead of hiding from them, I actually went into a place of appreciation and consciousness, paying every single bill. Even though I had the exact same amount of money as I had 2 weeks prior, when I started to do what Spirit taught me how to do, be grateful with each bill that I got to pay, and really, like, just be in a place of assurance that all my bills would be taken care of, it all changed, like, literally overnight. And from that point forward, when I really got conscious about how I was thinking about money and bills, and I was no longer afraid of having to pay bills, I was more conscious about where I spent my money, how much I was spending. My paychecks all of a sudden started to have an abundance left over not a lack. Emergencies stopped happening. When they did happen, I actually had the money to catch up. Then all of a sudden, a few months later, I decide, well, I'm going to really put this stuff to the test, and I want to manifest a house to live in, and ended up buying my boat. But I didn't have a savings account. I didn't have any credit, right? It still all came together miraculously. The difference in that time period is that I started to play with always having enough. And even though my reality was not in a place where it was like I had an overabundance or that I had a whole brand new job or anything like that, I just kept saying, there's always enough. And then I went and bought, one day I got an insight to go buy a lottery ticket. I never bought them, scratchers. And I won like $250 on a $1 scratcher. Blown away. And that didn't mean that I started gambling all the time. And I don't want to give you guys the wrong impression. Something told me to buy the ticket at that time. I was at the gas station. So that actually, and I didn't go blow it, right? But there were times when I fell off the consciousness wagon where I would get a big amount of money. And this happens to a lot of people. You get a big amount of money, or you have an excess amount of money, and because of your belief systems, your worthiness issues, and this used to happen quite a bit. Once in a while it still happens, I'll be honest with you, where I'll get a big amount of money that comes in, and it's way above and beyond anything I need for my bills or my savings account. And for whatever reason, then suddenly I'm taking my family out for a super expensive dinner and spending it as quickly as I'm getting it. That's self-sabotage. That's a worthiness issue. And when you do that without questioning why you're doing it, you actually then start that cycle of need, get the money, lose the money. It's a constant downward spiral of self-sabotage. So that's something else you guys need to look at too. 3 different calendars, keep up with bills, paycheck to paycheck. So one of the things that really changed that for me back then, and I use a different program now, is, and you can get free apps, but I put my money stuff and my bills on, back then it was Microsoft Money. Now I have Quicken, and I'm able to see where everything goes. I'm able to pay then my goal is started to become, I'm going to pay all my bills. No matter when they're due, I'm paying all my bills on the 1st. It's amazing. That was a huge goal for me 20 something years ago. And I didn't think I'd ever get there. And you know what? I did get there. I got there in a matter of months, not years, months, where I was able to somehow, just by shifting my thoughts and being very conscious about my relationship with money, what I said about money, what I believed about money, and what I believed was possible, I, within a couple of months, reached that goal of being able to pay all my bills on the 1st. Does that mean by the 15th, whatever excess I got in my paycheck I blew? No, I started to put money away. And then I'd take a certain amount of money and I'd go and do something nice for myself, get a massage, get my nails done, whatever, so that I still had that place where I was doing things for me, but putting money aside as well and growing some money. And I didn't have a lot in savings, but at least I always knew from that point forward that I would be able to pay things. Within a couple of years, 2-3 years, I did end up growing money, to the point where I had, money to, it was after I bought my boat, to start a farm. And then when I moved to Colorado, I didn't have any money. I had to build it back up because I wanted to buy a house. And quickly, within a few months, I had the down payment for a house. I mean, it's stuff like that. Like, there's nothing different about me than you, except that I consciously control my thoughts. I make sure my relationship with self-love is always there. My energy is always one of love. I'm always looking to be in a place of giving, right? And however, I get through these different lessons with money, it always has to do with, what are you thinking? Where are you limiting it? Going to a place and answering the question about emergency expenses and stuff like that, car repairs. I mean, that stuff happens. And there comes a point where I remember when I back in Colorado when I had a Nissan Maxima, and I had replaced the transmission in California. And then we had just built our house. And suddenly, and I was going through a divorce within like literally days after my ex left. And I had bought him 2 cars, but I still had my Maxima. Within 2 days of him leaving, my transmission was going out again. And I had to make that call. Like, do I buy a new car? I just built this house. I have my mortgage just tripled where it was before. It was $500 a month. Now it's $2,000 a month. Like, how am I going to afford a car? And I went, you know what, Spirit, I know that this is all going to work. Took my car, which was barely drivable, to the dealership and bought a new car. I couldn't get my car into reverse. So I knew when I drive that car to the dealership, that's it. Whatever happens, happens. Hopefully I qualify, because I didn't have any credit, not real good credit at that point. Because everything was invested into the house, and it was hard enough for me to get that loan because I was doing everything on cash. But it all worked out because I knew it would, right? The same thing still happens now because I keep my head wrapped in that same way. And I want you guys to really understand this. This isn't a matter of you're limited. Someone in Burning Gold said something about they really want to act and they don't want to do things they don't want to do, and they're dependent on their family. And here's the thing. If you have a dream like that, but you're not earning your own income, you're working against yourself by not doing something, by not working in some way to financially support yourself. You have to always keep the energy moving forward, right? And it isn't about force, but it is about continually generating forward moving energy. And what I mean by that is this, right? I can sit here and stress about money and stress about need financially and be like, but I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. Or I could find some way, and I always ask Spirit, like, how can I earn X amount of money if I need money? How can I get things moving forward? What can I give of myself? What can I give of myself? Even if it isn't the most ideal thing, what can I give? What can I sell? What can I do to get this energy moving forward? Sometimes that means like literally, selling things out of my garage, selling a saddle. So back years ago was selling horses, right? Like had to let my horses go. And you have to be willing to do that too. Like in a practical way, what can you do practically to keep the energy moving forward? And then let the universe come in behind you as you get that momentum rolling forward. Suddenly, the universe fills in the rest. But if you sit on your butt at home on the couch waiting for money to drop out of the sky or a check to arrive in the mail, you're not moving that energy forward. And that's not even practical because you're not giving your energy out. Now, I'm not telling you guys that like it's about hard work, and it's not. It's about moving energy, getting back into the flow of life and movement. But when you sit still, and it's the same with relationships, no joke. When you sit still and all you're focusing on is what you don't have and what you want and what your dream is, and you're not moving energy forward, all you're doing is putting yourself in a place of chasing after that money, chasing after a job, chasing after a relationship. It really doesn't even matter. You can put any name on it, right? But if you look at what can I do in this moment, what's the next logical step for me? Right? To begin to rectify and create a solution for this lack in my life. What can I do? Take that step forward. Seriously, that's what faith is all about. And as we move our energy forward in such a way, we're telling the universe too, like, I'm serious about this, right? I'm totally serious about this. I'm ready to do whatever it takes. Success does not come from sitting on the couch waiting for success to come. You've got to be dedicated to learning, to growing, to investing in your time, investing in what you want to do to move things forward. But sometimes, like with the car repair stuff and house repair, sometimes it comes to a point where you've got to make some practical decisions and go, is it worth me spending money on repairs? Should I just replace the car? Like, what's the better way to go? Or is it better just to put the money into the repairs so that I don't have a car payment? Like that's where I've been. I love my car. Such a great relationship with my 2004 4Runner that has nearly 300,000 miles on it. And sooner or later, it's going to need a transmission. I mean, it's never had one. It's got a sealed transmission, and things are starting to react in my car. I've replaced the suspension. I've replaced the brakes several times. I mean, I've done some work on that car. And I'm at that place now too, where it's like, do I buy a new car and let my happy car that they don't make that model anymore? They don't make it in a V8 anymore like mine is. Or do I keep repairing it? I haven't made a decision other than I don't want to give up my car yet. We're not ready to part ways. So of course, if something happens to it, I will put the money into it. And I keep doing that. Like when something comes up, I'm like, all right, but I don't want it to cost me an arm and a leg. And I ask Spirit for ways, and I manifest parts, and I manifest the labor. And miraculously, it just falls. In fact, where was I? I was at my meeting last year, my cancer meeting last year. And I came back and my dad had repaired my car. I was like, and he didn't tell me. He goes, you notice anything? It was like a week or two. He goes, you notice anything with your car? And I was like, no. Should I know something about my car? And he's like, you notice it's not making that funny sound anymore? Because I had the axle replaced. And I was like, oh. And he didn't tell me, and it's stuff like that. Like I was planning on taking care of it when I got home, but he did it for me. The universe is amazing that way. And I am grateful whenever it happens. Definitely need to work on self-worth. Money came in. Most of it spent well. Good chunk could have been spent better. Grateful for the money. Do what the money. Yeah. But here's the thing. Okay. And I want to be clear with you guys on this. And I know I'm jumping around a bit. It's hard on a live stream. I'm already 30 minutes in. It's hard on the live stream to be able to teach you guys everything I know about manifesting money. If you really are seriously about manifesting a charm life where money flows and health flows and you can work through your issues, get into charm life. That's the easiest way for me to help you, because a lot of the stuff's already on video and then you get the coaching. The estimate was $4,000, changed my thinking. It was an investment, manifested that it wouldn't be that much and only paid $2,000. Yay! See? That happened to me one time, Darlene, with my Maxima. Before I had the money to fix my transmission, there was my cylinders. I had a 6-cylinder Nissan Maxima, and I lived in California. And all of a sudden, the car was down to 2 cylinders, and I had to go to work. So I drove on the freeway, which I'm sure pissed a lot of people off, on 2 cylinders going like 30 miles an hour. But I had to get to work. And I prayed when I was at work. I parked my car in the parking garage and I patted it, as I got out and said, you're a good car and you're going to fix yourself. And I said, angels, do something. I don't know what you need to do, but I don't have the money until Friday to get this car to the shop. I need my car. I need to get back and forth to work. Came out from work and I just said a prayer, said a blessing, turned my car on. Remarkably, it got up to 4 cylinders. Didn't get the 6 back, but I got to 4 so that I could get home. And back to work again for a few days until I was able to fix it. It's that kind of thing, right? And it is that place where if you will stay in a place of love and faith and truth and knowing that if you slide your thinking and start thinking fearfully and start thinking lack and start thinking that, oh, this always happens, it's always going to be this way. I was just talking, and I think I mentioned yesterday, Wendy, and I had a session, a private session. She just joined Charm Life last month. But we had a session over the weekend because she was really like, I'm ready for a new job and I'm ready for more. And the first thing she had said to me was, all the limiting things, because of the area I live in, because I don't have a college education. And I didn't know if she had ever heard. And I told her, I don't have a college degree, right? Like I never went to 1 day of college. And yet I've held some pretty high level jobs in corporate. And what I do with my gifts and healing and counseling people, getting them beyond their stuff and helping business people, entrepreneurs and CEOs and whatever. I don't have a college degree, but I also don't have the belief that you need to have a college degree to be good at something, right? Or to get paid well, or to be rewarded for your knowledge and your hard work and learning things. You don't need a college degree, because I don't have that belief. I've been able to do amazing things in my life. we broke through that belief with her, and someone came into her work, and it was a previous boss, and she got hooked up with an interview today for a new job, exactly what she was looking for. It's that thing of, and no kidding, she's only been in for less than 2 months, I think, but shifting your thoughts and getting rid of these beliefs that you have to have this, I have so many people that tell me, the only way to survive and have money is if you're willing to do things you hate. That's not true. And if you believe that, then all you're setting up is lack until you do something you hate in order to have money. If you believe that anything is possible, if you will be conscious about your money, if you will have a relationship with money and look at money as a medium of exchange that represents love, you're going to do far better in life and be able to create whatever you want. I'm not kidding when I tell you guys love and money are the same vibration. It's a high vibration, right? It's the same. We all need love and we all need money. On this planet, we need resources and we need to feel loved, because when we don't feel love for ourselves and others, life just stops. Life stops. We go into isolation. We stop doing life affirming things. It's that same thing, but it's the exact same money. Don't have money for charm, magically manifested it. Yeah. Say what you want and trust, believe it. Absolutely. And here's the thing too, because I don't want you guys to walk away from this talk today feeling guilty or feeling like shamed in any way, shape, or form if you haven't reached that place. I hope this is just a reminder, and it's calling forth your higher self to step up and step into the flow of abundance that is. Because truly, this isn't it's an amazing planet. It's magical. We are in control if we will just control our thoughts and really expand our beliefs and get into a place of faith. Faith is believing what you can't see. Too many times we want to see it first and then I'll believe it. And because of that, you don't experience magic, right? But again, sometimes it takes having someone walk beside you and cheerlead you on and remind you what you're capable of and how powerful your thoughts and your emotions are and how powerful your words are. Stand in a place of appreciation, gratitude, and grace at all times, and you will have the opportunities present themselves. Expect it always to remain the same, and you will create life exactly the same. One last thing I do want to touch on before I go, because of where this whole conversation today about financial lack came from. For any of you who are entrepreneurs or you run any kind of business or you have a side hustle going on, right? And you're wanting to have that support you fully, okay? But you always give everything away because you want to help. And now it has become a detriment to you. And now you're burnt out, right? But you want to be able to serve the world with the gifts that you've been given. And you're not sure how to go about breaking beyond those beliefs that keep you in a place of not feeling good about charging. I want you to think about it like this, all right? We charge because we have bills to pay. We have bills to pay not because we're these selfish people, but because that's the world we live in. When someone asks me anymore, and it took me a couple of years to get this, when people ask me, can you just help me for free? I don't have this and I don't have that. It's one thing when I know someone doesn't have the resources, but Spirit puts it on me to help them and I offer, that's one thing. Like that's me giving freely, right? It's a whole other thing when people guilt me, tell me some big long story of why they can't pay me or they don't want to pay my rate or whatever. Then I start to get resentful. But I think about it like this, and for those of you who have these side hustles or you have a Reiki business, you have a psychic business, you have healing, whatever, and you've got this thing about charging, the way that Spirit always explained it to me, people always ask me to give them something for free. When I give my time, my free time, I give my time away, I am hurting not only me, but I'm hurting my children. I'm hurting people that also need my help. because I'm allowing all of my energy to be drained. When you give and it's not reciprocal, and you're constantly giving and you're not getting what you need to survive, to pay your bills, eventually you're going to walk away from your career, your business, your livelihood, because it's not paying the bills. And I've been in that position a couple times in this business where I gave so much away that I literally got physically ill. I didn't spend as much time with my children, and that's time I can't get back. This was when my daughter was really like an infant. Right after she was born, I was working my ass off. I literally went back to work 4 hours after I gave birth to her because I supported the family. And I can't get that time back. I don't get that the first 2 years of her life back. But everybody asked me, can you give me a free reading? Can you please spend some time with me and help counsel me? I'm in dire straits and blah, blah, blah. And I gave and I gave and I gave. And I gave time away that I will never get back. I gave money away when I could have been spending that time working to add more income to my family, to provide support for them, and to allow myself to have the money to take the time off to spend with my new baby. So I want you guys to think of that. When people ask you, can you just give me for free? Can you help me for free? Because they don't put the same value in what you have to offer as the value that's really what you have to offer. I want you to think about that. I'm not telling you guys to never give. Giving is part of what we do, but we need to be in control of who we give to. We cannot give to everybody whose hands are out. The one thing that I have found, when there is no reciprocal energy going back and forth, right? You end up not helping that person, especially like psychic readings and counseling and stuff like that. People, I've done healing with people too. It doesn't hit as hard or create as much change when they haven't given anything of themselves or their resources. Truly, it does not. They don't appreciate it. And those are the people that complain the most, is the people you help for free. So you're not doing them any favors by doing that, saying yes to them when they're asking you to give to them for free. And you're definitely not doing yourself any favors. And you're discounting the value of your connection with your gifts and what you have to offer. Don't do that. That's a self-value thing. You need to start saying yes to your own value, and whatever your price is, stick it there. Don't let people talk you out of that, because you will never get that time back. You will never get those resources back. Like I said, it's one thing when you feel pulled and you know the person's going through a hard time and you want to be the person that gives them a break. I do that plenty of times. But I will no longer deal with people coming to me trying to bargain me down and get like putting me down and what I offer, because they can't see the value in it. And if they can't see the value in it, that's on them. That's not on me. I do have plenty of people that see the value in it. And I want you guys to really think about that. I try to explain this to my son-in-law too. Like he repairs people's cars and he cut rates himself. Like he and helps them with house repairs and stuff like that. And that's his side hustle. But he gives them such a discounted rate. Well, I just want to help them. It's like, yeah, but how much are you helping yourself? Because you're not charging really what you're worth, right? And you do things so quickly for them. You're not charging what you're worth. You're taking that time away from your marriage. You're taking that time away from your kid. You're taking that time away from doing stuff for yourself to recharge. And you're giving all of this to them, and they don't even appreciate it. In fact, they're the ones that complain, right? And he doesn't get it yet. Eventually he will, I hope. And I hope you guys get it, because it's that place too. You have, like seriously, we can't be in a place of lack, nor can we buy into other people's programming about lack. And that's exactly what you do when you say, okay, I charge $150 and someone says, well, I can't afford that. And I don't really think you're worth. Are you even that good? I'll give you 50 out of 150. Am I supposed to say, ooh, thank you? No, I'm sorry you don't. Go pay the 50 and then come back to me and let me know how that worked out for you. Because, yeah, he isn't valuing his time. But you know what? A lot of us don't value our time. A lot of us don't. A lot of us get in that place because we don't really put a true big value, and it's just indicative of our own self-worth, right? We're always trying to make up for something by giving, giving, giving. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with giving, because I am telling you guys, in order to get things moving with your financial flow, you have to give. Some energy has to be moving. But you can't overgive, and you should not devalue yourself or your time. And that goes for work too. Like, I would never work for a company if they are not willing to pay me what I'm worth. Like, I'm not going to sacrifice my time and come to a job where you aren't even willing to pay me what it takes to support myself. Like, I think there's something totally wrong with that too. Pay people what they're worth as well. Appreciate it. And then when we do write out those bills, when we do pay people for the services that they offer, repairs or otherwise, be grateful that the universe has provided for you to have the money to pay for that, because that just keeps that energy going. For those of you who are in Charm Life, let me remind you, in section 5 or 4, the Magic Purse of Spirit. If you need a reminder, go back and watch the Magic Purse of Spirit, right? Because remember, it always fills. The Magic Purse of Spirit always fills when you know how to keep that thing going. So I hope that helps. Did that answer a lot of your questions, or do you guys still have questions? If you still have questions, I'll come back in another live stream and do some more. Had people ask me for money and never pay me back. Yeah, when people want to borrow money, you have to be in a place of knowing that you're giving it to them. Like, don't loan money unless you can afford to let it go. Section 5. Yes. Thank you, Lillian. That's a good reminder though, right? Like, the Magic Purse of Spirit is a good reminder. Need to start filling up. Yes. Well, and it's a matter of needing to believe, right? You understanding what that is, the Magic Purse of Spirit, because it goes beyond money. It's love, it's energy. And one last thing for those of you who aren't in Charm Life, I want you to think of it like this. When you're having to spend money, it's no different than working out, right? When you don't work out, when you're not physically active, you just sit like at home and you're not moving and you're not exercising, you're not walking, you actually end up with less energy. But if you will take the time to move your body, do some form of exercise, even if you are flat out exhausted, have you ever noticed that you actually gain energy from the energy expenditure? Money's the exact same way. As you spend, you get more money. It's a flow. You're in the flow. But if you hoard and you hold on to and you're afraid of, oh my God, it's all going to disappear, now you're in a place of lack. So think about it in terms of that too. We can't be in that place where it's like, well, I have to save every single dime. I can't do anything for myself because that's the end of the money. It's not the end of the money. Money will flow as you allow the money to flow. But when you spend, be grateful you have the money to spend. And expenditure out means you've created a void for the universe to fill. There's a whole lot to this, but I wanted to at least get you guys on that. So there's a few questions I want you guys to ask yourselves that when you're struggling with money, all right? Ask yourself what you're being, what you're doing, right? And what you're thinking in terms of finances, prosperity. Anything that is not in alignment with the higher vibe of abundance and that the universe always provides, you're always guided, you're always protected, you need to get rid of that and shift that thinking. And then I want you to ask, how am I limiting my finances? How am I limiting my prosperity? Don't answer it. You leave the universe, let that bubble up for you. All right. Look at where you're sabotaging. How am I sabotaging my own finances and my money flow? And then I want you to start believing that anything is possible, that the universe is abundant, and you want proof of how abundant the universe is. I can look at the tree right outside of my window and see abundance every single day, an abundance of leaves and green. And I mean, the trees is sitting there. In the wintertime, it drops its leaves. I don't think the tree ever worries about, oh my God, I'm never going to have more leaves, so let me hold these dead leaves. The tree drops all of its leaves, and miraculously in the springtime, the tree gets more leaves, and it fills up, and it's beautiful, and the sun shines, and the leaves are green, and then they'll turn again, and it's flow up and down, ebbs and flows. It's season cycle, right? We have to be like the tree, where we're willing to drop everything, and let it go, knowing it's going to come back and come back with more abundance. And the more we can hold a higher vibration on a higher place of receiving, the more our abundance grows. So I love you guys. That was a whole lot. I did not mean it to go 15 minutes. Holy crap. I got to get back to work. Those of you in Charm Life, I will see you later.